Hey guys, and welcome back to 366 Days of Hope. My name is Pearl, and I'm here to share with you our next topic, which is unlock the door to freedom. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes we may feel like we're in a cage mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and we just can't get ourselves out. And today I kind of wanted to talk about that and how to give you practical ways in which you can hopefully unlock the door and get yourself free from whatever issues that you are dealing with. The first practical one is reading. And you might be thinking, how is reading going to help me when I'm not feeling great, or I'm dealing with anxiety or depression or whatever it may be? The thing is, knowledge is power. And I truly believe that whether you're reading scripture, whether you're reading a devotional, or whether you're reading a self-help book, and I put that in quotes because sometimes as a Christian, we read a lot of secular books that don't particularly hit from a Christian's perspective. And so that's why I have it in quotes. But either way, some of those secular books can actually have logical information that helps us have more tools for us to use against the things that we are battling with. And so one of the books I'm currently reading is a book called Spark. It has also practical information about how the science fits into healing the brain mentally through exercise. And so I wanted to also share a little bit about that. So the first one, like I said, is reading. And taking the things that we read gets us into step 2, which is implement what it is that you have learned. So the things that you have read, try inculcating that into your life to help you process through what you have dealt with or are going through at the moment. And the third one is, as you implement the things that you have learned, you're actually paving new pathways in your brain. And I love that part of it because when you start having more, as they say, I call them weapons, right? When you think about battling spiritually, you want to have multiple weapons or armor on you. And when you have this arsenal of things to use, you end up being able to combat the things that you're going through much easier because you've created different methods to deal with stress, so that way you're not being impacted by it as heavily as you may have been used to in the past. So a good example of this is what Dr. John Ratey says in the book Spark. When people who have anxiety or panic attacks, generally their sympathetic nervous system starts to react by increasing their heart rate, causing them to sweat, and as these physical manifestations happen, they then increase the panic, and their mind, literally the hippocampus, creates this memory connection to the emotional feeling that they're feeling, which is panic or fear, and then all of the sympathetic nervous responses are then associated with this emotion. So to break away from that, we know that as you do aerobic exercise, it's very similar to what you may experience during a panic attack, because your heart rate goes up, you're going to start feeling a little sweaty, maybe your hands get a little bit moist, you start feeling nervous. But what's so interesting is that when you're doing it in a setting of exercise, your brain then creates this positive association that this behavior or this feeling is actually safe to be exposed to. And so as that memory is being grafted in, you're literally creating a new pathway. So in the same sense, practice makes perfect. We can also make practice makes permanent the wrong way as well. So trying to create new neuro pathways that are helping you cope, whether you are using creative outlets to deal with stress, you're also creating new pathways that are saying, hey, this is a safe coping mechanism. So when you're feeling this way, go to this to help you. And so I believe that is another great way of dealing with stress and dealing with depression, is finding outlets. I feel like positive self-talk or affirmations, and I don't mean to make this sound very new agey in the way I say this. What I mean by positive self-talk is talking to yourself encouraging words. And I love, Philippians 4:13, where it says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, right? That's a very common one that I feel like I personally use all the time when I'm dealing with stuff. Just saying it over again, saying, I'm not alone. God has me. Christ loves me. I can get through this even if no one else is, feel like understanding who I am. God understands me. Sort of re-emphasizing the things that we believe as a Christian to help us manage through the difficulties. And of course, the last one is remove negativity by refocusing on things that are better. And this is obviously a biblical principle, and I've seen this written a lot of times in self-help books where they tell us this. But it's interesting that you find it also in scripture. And for example, in Philippians 4:8, where it says, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. And again, it's that positive focus, but it's also removing negativity and refocusing it on something better. I find that if I am constantly consuming media content, I can also be, especially if it's not positive, right? Like news. Just recently, I had to kind of step away from Instagram. I just felt like there was just so much negative content that I was seeing, and I just needed to take a step back and remove myself so that it wasn't going to impact me. And sometimes that's an important thing that we all have to assess for ourselves if we're noticing that something is negatively affecting us. This could also mean the people you're surrounding yourself with. If all you are constantly around is toxic, then you need to remove yourself from that so that you can focus it on something better, whether it's focusing on improving yourself, reading a book, being somewhere else that you don't normally go out to find serenity and peace, so be it. But that is one other way in which you can distance yourself from anything that hampers your growth. Well, with that said, may you live, thrive, and be healthy. Take care, guys, and thanks for watching. Bye.